Good evening. This is the meeting of the Villa Park Environmental Concerns Commission. This is our regular meeting, and it is June 26th, 2025, and the time is 7:05. And I'm going to ask Commissioner Jarcona if she'll call the roll.
Chairman Wagner,
Here?
Mr. Amore,
Present.
Ms. Greco,
Here.
Ms. Hill,
Here.
Mr. Leishman.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
And our junior commissioner is.
He's as excused absence tonight. And I'd like it noted for the record that we have our frequent and highly valued public visitor.
Chronic visitor.
And then we also have another village resident, Steve Della Rosa, is here this evening as well. So we have two visitors. Okay, we've established that we have a quorum. So I'm gonna move on to item 2, public comments on agenda items. Are there any public comments on agenda items? Okay, seeing none, I'm gonna move on to amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Commissioner Amore.
This is Commissioner Moore. I'd like to ask that we consider moving item 5G below 5B. Discussion of proposed garden village commission. We have a lot to discuss and a lot of work ahead of us, but the reality of the fact that we may not be here to accomplish our work schedule for proposed actions months from now, I would like to add that to be moved behind Molly Cards' presentation. That's the first request for an amendment to the agenda. And then the second request for an amendment at our...
Do you want to make
one at a time, yeah.
do one motion?
Let's do them one at a time. Thank you.
Okay, so you want, your
Motion.
amendment, your motion is to move item 5G and put it after 5B, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Greco. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we will change the order of the agenda. Okay, and Commissioner Moore, you had another amendment?
Yes, I had an amendment, and it's not an actionable item because it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to take note in reviewing the minutes from the May meeting. There was a conversation about how our future position of chair was going to be discussed, whether there could be a co-chair or whether a junior commissioner could be promoted to a full commissioner, and that never made it onto the agenda. My fault for not noting it sooner, but I wanted to at least add it to the agenda somewhere for discussion at wherever point you think it might be appropriate.
Yeah. This is Commissioner Wagner. I apologize, I kind of thought about it, and I thought, well, we're gonna talk about who's gonna become chair, and are we gonna have, a vice chair or two vice chairs? I think it would be, well, I don't wanna get, but my thought process was maybe we should let the dust settle to see what happens,
Yeah, I agree.
if that's okay.
That's fair.
Commissioner Leishman.
As long as you're fine continuing your role as chair until that point has been
Yeah.
reached.
Right. I'm comfortable doing that. Thank you.
Okay, then I would withdraw that motion.
Okay.
If you would like to continue as chair until
Okay.
it comes up again for discussion.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Okay. Seeing none, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. and I think I'm just gonna handle these one at a time. Approval of the minutes for the May 22nd, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the May 22nd meeting?
Can I amend the motion? I would
Well,
like
you
to.
can make the motion.
After
Oh.
the motion has been made.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay, thank you. Well, then I'll motion to approve them.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
motion made by Commissioner Greco, seconded by Commissioner Hill. Okay, is there any discussion?
Commissioner Leishman has his hand up, so.
I just wanted to note that there was one amendment to the minutes that I sent out under item 5F2. It was requested that was rephrased to Commissioner Marion Greco is waiting on a response from Parks and Rec regarding whether or not there will be room at Brewfest for a presentation from Pace about their bike racks. So I have applied that edit to the minutes already.
Okay,
So I would like to amend the motion that's on the table to approve the minutes with the mentioned correction.
with the correction, okay. All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of approving the May 22nd minutes as corrected or amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And I want to thank Commissioner Leishman for doing those minutes. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one, approval of meeting minutes for our special meeting, which was held on June 19th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the June 19th minutes? Commissioner Amore.
This is Commissioner Moore, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, is there a second? Commissioner Smith.
Commissioner Smith, I would like to second the motion to approve the June 19th,
Okay.
2025 meeting minutes.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, I also want to thank Commissioner Draconis for her good work. Let me get through here, over the years. Yeah, over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the June 19th, 2025 minutes for the special meeting, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting minutes are approved. Okay, we're gonna move on to item 5A, report of the Bike Pedestrian and Transit Subcommittee. Commissioner Leishman.
Thank you, Commissioner Wagner. This evening, we had a member of the public with us that Patrice Gallagher that specifically requested that we talk about e-scooters and e-bikes, since that is a hot topic around the village right now. It wasn't on the agenda, so we just had a bit of discussion about it. But as an action item, I'll be, assuming we have another meeting, doing some research to see what other communities are doing around this issue and seeing what recommendations we might want to make to both traffic and safety as well as the board as a whole in terms of maybe both the regulation side as well as the public education side of this issue. So we talked about that for a good chunk of the meeting, and then we also did some brainstorming around our commission's goal of advocating for capital improvement on a pedestrian crossing around town. So we kind of, did some brainstorming about what data do we have available to us right now, what data do we want to collect, and what questions can we try to answer with that data. And those are the big talking points of tonight's meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Leishman, and I'll just repeat my thanks to you for your leadership of Bike Pedestrian and Transit. Okay, I'm going to move on to item 5B, and I had asked Molly Cars to talk to us because about Go Green Illinois, and I was aware of Go Green Illinois. I know that they have monthly Zoom meetings,
Bi-monthly, I believe.
bi-monthly. And I went to their website, and it looks like there are chapters all over the metropolitan area. So, having said that, I'm gonna give you the floor if you wanna tell us about Go Green Illinois.
Okay, so when you said you want to talk about Go Green Illinois, I was like, sure. How did I get involved with them? And I was like, I don't remember. But then I went back. I got involved with the Coalition for Plastic Reduction, which has so many different people and organizations involved in it, and that's how I found Go Green. So Go Green Glen Ellen is the one that I've been most involved in. Let me just first say that Go Green Illinois, I'm going to read it right off. This is their goal: to encourage and support environmental groups in every community, share ideas and knowledge, and best practices. So they were established in 2013. Go Green Wilmette was the original one. They were established in 2006. So I've also met with the woman from the Wilmette when I grew up out there, and met her at a blood donation event. And so I've also met with her and talked to them. So when I was dealing with Glen Ellen, I was like, why would I bother having a Phillip Park? We're right here. It seems so redundant and ridiculous. So then when I was talking to the woman who does Go Green Wilmette, she said each community really focuses on the issues that are key to their community and whatever their community is interested in. So when you talk to there's more than 30 communities that have one of these groups. And so there's, the closest ones are like Glen Ellen, LaGrange has one, Oak Park has one. Downers Grove is called Greener Grove, same thing. You can name it what you want, you can work on what you want. It's very independent, which I love about that. They do all sorts of things. Like Wilmette has a twice monthly beach cleanup. They also they have a birding group. I mean, you can just make it whatever you want it to be. They've worked on the plastic playing fields. They've worked on gas-powered blowers for your lawn. One group is working on idling. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Idling? I didn't even know that was an issue. So, but Glen Ellen got funding from a foundation to fund aluminum cups at different events. Through I think all of their Glen Ellen sponsored events will have aluminum because that can be easily recycled.
Was that through the DuPage Foundation?
Yeah, which foundation?
Yeah, I think it was the Glen Ellen Foundation.
Okay.
I have it written down somewhere, but I don't think it was through the DuPage. I can double check that.
But DuPage
But that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, DuPage Foundation does have green initiatives.
Do they?
Yes, they used to.
If we could do it here, that'd be amazing.
Mhm.
I'd never heard of the DuPage Foundation, so I'm glad you said that.
You need
Um,
Well, maybe, well, I'm sorry.
You need to work with a 501c3, and maybe that's something to green.
Yes, and I haven't since this is like a committee of one currently. Although at the Summerfest, I got a page and a half of people that are interested. So of that page and a half, I would love to find 2 or 3 that are like, yeah, we want to work on this. But they all have .org emails, so I'm assuming they all are under the same umbrella, but I don't have the statistics, like how that works yet. But they do amazing things. They do in Glen Ellen a sports swap, so all the kids bring their old sports stuff that they can't wear anymore, so you don't have to buy new stuff, you're not throwing away stuff.
Yes.
They do boot swaps. They do, Greener Grove does a recycling extravaganza that sounds just like your Clean Sweep. Like, sounds exactly like it. They also have speakers and programs and it just goes on and on, the stuff they do. Actually, Wilmette also has they have a farmer's market, so they have a bag swap program. So if you show up and don't have a bag, they have a booth that will have bags, which I think that's kind of amazing too. So there's so many things you can do. So hopefully, once I contact all these people, a couple of them will be interested. We will really get started. I decided, because you all are supposed to do it as a group together, like I'm calling it Go Green Villa Park. I'm not really naming it. I'm not going to set up the email until I'm going to send from myself. I'm not going to do a web page until we have people, like they should all be involved in that. So fingers crossed that happens. And I wanted to say in the same vein I don't know who I talked to, but I called the winner of the barrel, and they're kind of like, oh, and I'm like, come on, a little excitement. I mean, I was thinking it, I didn't actually say it. But I go to drop it off, and I don't know if anybody remembers her, but she was kind of a 20-ish, quirkies, like a nice girl.
I think I was there when she was there, yeah.
Yes, and so I dropped it off, and she said her father was very excited, and she was much more excited when I saw her, so that was.
But it sounds like it was a nice thing to do for her father, so.
Yes, yes, her
Okay.
father was
The belated
excited.
Father's Day.
That's rewarding.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so that was good.
Okay.
I don't know, does anybody have any questions about?
Is the larger organization a nonprofit? Or
I think they're all nonprofits,
okay.
but
Are they
I think they all fall under this Go Green Illinois,
okay?
but you can call yourself whatever you want under it and still be part of it.
Are
Most
they-
of them are
Are
Go
they like a
Green.
registered 501c3?
I believe they are.
Okay.
But
Yes.
that would be, yeah.
Here's my question. I think they are. I should actually
Easy
just
enough
look
to
that
check,
up. Yes.
but yeah.
Should be on
Because they take donations. Some of them do fundraisers. I mean, I don't know that necessarily means that they're a 501c3, but I think they are.
Yeah, it is true. Anyone can take donations.
Right.
It's not tax deductible if it's not
Right.
a 501c3.
Yeah, I feel like we could look that up pretty easily.
I'm not seeing it, so that's okay.
Um,
We can explore.
Any other questions?
We could just ask.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for making a brief presentation.
Oh, no problem.
I knew of it, but I didn't know, gave us some good information, and I appreciate you gathering names, and I put my name on there, so.
Oh, good, good. You'll be in my email list.
What's that?
I said you will be in my
Okay,
email list then.
wonderful. And I think I'll take this opportunity to thank you for all your efforts with our
Oh, you're welcome.
Summerfest. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
It turned
gosh.
out great, right?
You were the
guys loved
Uber
the
volunteer.
bags. I mean, I think everyone loved the bags and the
They were
stickers
the
and
kid.
the,
Yeah.
it was just hotter than hell, but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was
Do we,
good.
how many bags did we give away?
500.
Oh, that's all.
So we got
500
rid of all
bags.
of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, close, right? You
And-
saved some for maybe,
Yeah, we each got a bundle, but.
yeah, yeah.
But we educated people that they could compost, that they could put
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
compostable items in, food items in with their yard waste. So we did accomplish something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I think that's gonna be for, Go Greenville Park, for me. That plastics was really my issue before this started, but then I found out about the composting and that nobody knows about it, so that's kind of become my first interest, like, let's get people to know about it. But, who knows, people will come on and it could turn into many different things that we wanna work on.
Okay. Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate
I
that.
assume it's right.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to our new item 5C, which is discussion of the proposed Garden Village Commission. And before we get started, I want to just let you know that I invited the village board. I invited President Kevin Patrick. Trustee Tina Constados was gonna come this evening, but it's her anniversary. So they're going out someplace fancy.
We had donuts.
What's that?
Did you not?
And chocolate.
I did get an email from President Patrick saying that the appropriate place to talk about it would be at the July 14th meeting. So I didn't respond to him. Since we're an advisory group and it has to do with us, I think it's absolutely appropriate for this discussion. It was posted on the agenda 48 hours in advance, so we're not doing anything improper. So, anyways.
I do agree with that assessment, that I do believe it would have been completely appropriate for him to arrive and talk to us.
Right, but he said that probably he didn't say you shouldn't talk about it, he just said the appropriate place to talk would be on July 14th at the committee of the whole.
But there's public participation, and you have 3 minutes,
Right,
and there's no discussion, because you can't have a
That's
discourse.
right, exactly. So I did, before we get started with discussion, I did a little bit more carefully read through the proposed Garden Village Commission. And I did reach out to the proposed commissioners, Steve Della Rosa being one. I reached out to Patrice Gallagher. She couldn't, she came for the Bike Pedestrian Transit Subcommittee meeting because she had, and then, of course, I didn't have
Right.
to reach out to Lynn Smith because she's a commissioner. I tried to reach out to Pete Soltesz, but he didn't respond to me. And then the other person, Renee, I don't know what his last name is, I can't remember his last name. Alvarez, yeah. I looked for him, some way to find him, I couldn't find him anywhere. So anyways, I did read through it a little bit more carefully, and there were some things that of interest to me. So I'll just open the floor for discussion. Commissioner Morey.
Well, this is Commissioner Morey. I just wanted to add to the conversation that on the 25th, I emailed the board and I reiterated my position from the meeting on Monday that they would take whatever action is necessary to move the July coffee with the board from the 5th to the 12th so that we could have that interaction between the public and the board, because as Commissioner Smith so correctly said, that recreation of a 3-minute public comment at a committee of the whole is not a conversation. It's a one-sided taking your positions. So in response to that email, I got an email back from President Patrick, and he specifically asked each member of the board if they would contact him individually to weigh in on moving the July 5th coffee with the board to the 12th, seeing how it would be a holiday weekend. It's normally canceled on a holiday weekend when the holiday comes close to that Saturday. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having that conversation with the board on the 12th with the anticipation of the committee of the whole 2 days later and possibly finding out more of what brought this all about.
Gotcha. One thing as I was reading through the proposed ordinance, I think I may have mistakenly said we have the ability to create, the ordinance says we can create subcommittees. In that ordinance, it says they can create a task force. Yeah, so that's similar. But one thing that I did notice in that ordinance, it described spring sweep as a community cleanup, not as a recycling event. So either who wrote it didn't understand what spring sweep was, or they're taking the name spring sweep and discarding this recycling event and making it into a community cleanup. I don't know. That's
Sounds
a
like-
question to be asked.
Sounds like a mistake AI would make.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Commissioner Morey.
And this is Commissioner Morey, and I read through the same ordinance more than once. And as I brought up on the Monday meeting, there's no mention of transit anywhere within any of the new commissions. And transit drives a lot of what we do, especially educating people about like what we're proposing about the bicycle, with the pace buses, and fielding complaints, maybe not directly to this commission, but brought to our attention about rerouting of the pace bus when St. Charles Road project was done, and we were completely isolated when they ran that bus down 83 to Roosevelt, and the fact that we were still trying to get pace service to somewhat touch nearby the metro station. It just, I just don't know why, or maybe it was a misstep, but it was completely left out, so it doesn't give us an avenue to advocate for improved accessibility.
Bicycle and pedestrian is mentioned as being part of, I believe it's the new planning commission. But that does make it more of an infrastructure-oriented discussion rather than, like you said, questioning Pace about their bus routing decisions and educating people about safe e-cycling. And we're working on trying to get Pace on at Brewfest so people know they can and learn and be comfortable putting their bicycles on the buses. So moving it to plan, it is mentioned, but it greatly reduces the scope of the transit discussion.
Commissioner Smith. Oh, do you have a voice issue?
As Commissioner Wagner, Chairman Wagner had initially said there will be task force that can be added to the new commissions as they get started. So when the initial meetings are held, with the, if, with the proposed new groups, then at that time they can decide what task force, or as we used to call subcommittees, they want to add. And it would be recommended that, the bicycle and pedestrian one be added, but it would be up to that particular group to do that. So there would probably need to be someone from the community that would come and advocate that be added. So, and pardon my long pause. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Maury.
So I know we're past public comment, but we do have the proposed commissioner here in attendance, so I would like to get approval for him to speak if he so chooses to do so, Mr. De La Rosa.
So, yeah, I think that, given the circumstance, I would, if Steve De La Rosa would like to say something, I would certainly recognize you.
Okay, Steve De La Rosa speaking here. And basically, I came to this meeting tonight, basically to gather more information about what your present commission is doing, has been up to, just to see what the thought processes were in terms of being able to I guess create another commission, because Kevin Patrick wants to create another commission different than this present commission. And you all being members of this commission, I guess I wanted to hear what you have to say for yourselves in terms of how the proposed commission would look like. I mean, I have received an outline from President Patrick about what he hopes to have the proposed commission do, but I wasn't aware that there hadn't been any communication with the previous commissions. And I think that that's an important item that as a commission, I won't tell you what to do, but I think you guys need to address that. It's like, it's not for me to tell you. You should be telling the board.
Well, Ivan was up there, Alan was up
Oh.
there.
Hi,
Bob
thank
was up there,
you.
Joe was
Change
up
your
there.
seat.
Thank you.
Mary Greco was
For
up
the
there.
recording, Trustee Kumar has just joined the meeting.
Sorry, just trying to.
No worries. So, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that we should communicate with the village president.
I'm saying that as a standing commission, because you still have all the authority that you had before the Monday board meeting, you're still empowered to create. It's like, why not take his proposal and build a new turkey out of it?
That's interesting.
You know, it's a way to keep your work alive, because I think you have historically done a lot of things in the village. You have a calendar of activity that spans the entire year. And I would think that a lot of those things would need to be continued. But I'm not on your commission.
Right. Commissioner Moray.
This is Commissioner Maury, and thank you for your comment. I guess the fact that we are tasked as an advisory commission, and officially, we were never, our recommendations or advice was never sought prior to this proposal. So it took us, it's not our job to tell him what we need, it's to respond to their ask. And so if they were to come to us and had said, we are considering redoing the commissions, how would you like a future commission that deals with the things that you are currently tasked with? How would you like to make an improvement to create a new commission? Not knowing who the new commissioners were going to be, not knowing whether anyone, I mean, we're fortunate enough to have Commissioner Smith, because she's quite an advocate and very knowledgeable, but to not consider anyone else, we kind of took us all by surprise.
Okay, you raised first.
This is Commissioner Smith, and to kind of lead up on, or continue upon what Commissioner Murray was saying, yes, I was asked to be on the next commission, but also I've only been on this commission 2 years. I don't necessarily have, the historical knowledge of some of the programs and all that. We have so many other, all of us, to me as a group, have together we work to make greatness. So yeah, there's my ideas as a new person, fresh perspectives. I do have an environmental consulting and geology background. However, we have all these other talented, informed people that have been on the commission for years, planning all of these established events that the community looks forward to. And what, over the past few days, what I've come to understand, it seems like there's not a complete understanding of what the Environmental Concern Commission does, as demonstrated by how Spring Sweep was described as a community cleanup event instead of a recycling.
That 300 to 400
event.
people appreciate that event.
Yes, that's just one of the many,
Yes.
between that event, the oil collection, the pumpkin smash,
Yeah.
and then other events that we were planning on sustainable gardening, which does tie into the theme of the garden village. So I now, and I'll voice this, but I needed to find out more information before speaking. I think it is a huge mistake.
It's what?
I think it's a huge mistake to not have an environmental concern commission in 2025 and in the times we live in. And it seems like our mission and the mission of the garden village they're different. Why can't you have both? And we're volunteers.
Commissioner Draconis.
I have a very, the same thing. First of all, I think what it puts on you is a a very heavy burden to bring forth what you admittedly, and we know, is a recent addition. 2 years is a long time, but it's not, in this commission
10
in
years.
particular, things have been going on for years. And I think I'm here 8, 9 years, and some of it is continued. If I say to you, the green, what's the name of that?
Green Champion.
Green Champion, yeah, no, Green Champion, the big whole study that we did. We've met several times to put goals together. We refine them, we come back with something else. We're now in a process of making things that are more substantial that we can actually achieve instead of spreading out our focus, figuring out what we as a commission can achieve. And this has been going on for a long time. I don't feel, I know people expressed hurt. I'm just so confused as to why something, I don't know if every commission, because I'm not familiar with the other ones, but the value of this commission is so significant to the village. As part of a world issue, I just don't get it. And my other part of this is, and I have this prepared to send to the board, Ivan Figueroa is an incredible young man who joined this group. He's bright, he's insightful, he's organized, and he's gone. And he won't be a part of this. And he's our future.
Yeah.
He's what the people we want to give this, encouragement to. If they show an interest, we want to do that. And he is not on the new one. Maybe that was to come, I don't know, but we don't know that. And that is what makes me more confused and a little angry that somebody like he is being denied.
Ms. Commissioner Wagner, with respect to the composition of the proposed Garden Village Commission and our commission, the thing that struck me is there's fewer people on the Garden Village Commission, so fewer opportunities for volunteers. We have 8, I think it's proposed at 5. And I think Commissioner Jaconis makes a good point. We have a junior commissioner who's bright and eager to participate, and he wasn't included. And that's the question that I have, why? And I think that we need to look at this objectively. People are saying, well, the village president has the right to do this. Of course, he has the right to do it, but do we want each new village president, revamping the commission structure? I think we need a little bit of a look at this objectively. How do we compare to the Garden Village Commission? And I think the ordinance for us, for the Environmental Concerns Commission, is sufficiently broad. The wording is sufficiently broad that we could take on some of the things that the Garden Village Commission would do. Commissioner Hill.
We had a presentation by a gentleman that was talking about native plants some time ago. I cannot remember his name. But at the time, after he left, I tossed out the idea, well, maybe we should go and expand our commission back out to 9 members. Because remember, we started with 9 members, then we went to the village board and we reduced it to 7 to ensure we get a quorum. But now we have much more interest.
Right.
And I talked about it, but it was one of those things that why not expand it and try to incorporate more of, go ahead.
So Mark Paulson, who came to us,
Was that a gentleman's
who
name?
was at an event last night about the fledgling group, the Villa Park Horticultural
Yeah.
Club, he wanted to create a subcommittee
Yes.
on sustainable gardening or
Yeah.
So that's something we could definitely do. And with the refer to our super volunteer here, that we now have a list of people that maybe we could tap. You know, we could say, okay, you wanna be part of maybe a Go Green Villa Park, but how would you like to be on a, sustainable gardening or sustainable Villa Park group, that we could create. So, Commissioner Leishman.
Yeah, I think one of the big limitations that we're currently facing with the ordinance as written is that I
The
believe
new ordinance, the old ordinance?
the current ordinance
Okay.
is that I believe it's the village's current legal understanding of the ordinance is that since the bike pedestrian transit subcommittee is a subcommittee, it has to be composed of the people that are serving on the main commission. So if we want to, expand into more subcommittees, we could either expand the size of the commission itself and, give people more specialization, or you could amend the ordinance however need be to allow sub-commissioners to be appointed.
Right.
I think they would have to change so that those sub-commissioners would be appointed by the Board of Trustees rather than the chair of the commission.
Yeah.
Because you really don't want to be in a situation where an unelected official is appointing more unelected officials.
Right.
But that could be a solution to that problem. But I also wanted to, since everyone else is chiming in with their opinions, I did want to say that I do agree with Mr. De La Rosa's opinion that, given the fact that we are still a commission and we are an advisory commission, I believe it's entirely within our authority to make a recommendation with regards to these matters.
So a written recommendation to the board?
About our commission and why, what we believe is in the best interest of the village.
Commissioner Smith.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. Whatever we write, though, to kind of help our case, it needs to tie into the comprehensive plan and how what we are doing is helping to, enact some part of the comprehensive plan and also potentially attracting or making our pathways and our parks and making the most of that to be more attractive to residents and potential developers.
Okay, I believe I was next.
By all means.
I would like to say that it is grossly unfair and grossly negligent of the village president to expect us to make reasonable, well thought out recommendations with one meeting, with so little notice and one meeting to discuss it and research all of the important issues about how these issues will affect our committee. It is an impossible task to do it correctly. We'll do our best because that's who we are and we care about the village, but it is an unreasonable expectation that we can fairly and correctly recommend what we think is best for the village.
Commissioner Leishman.
I just want to clarify that I don't believe the village president has asked for our opinion on this matter.
He has not.
I am just stating that I believe we have the authority to make a recommendation if we so choose.
We are an advisory commission.
Yes.
Commissioner Greco.
Oh, I'm
Amore,
done.
Amore.
Amore, yeah.
Sorry.
So, in regard to our impact on this commission, or the subcommittee of this commission, for an example, a few years ago, we had a Maple Avenue improvement project. And when the project was laid out, they had neglected to add in sidewalks on portions of Maple Street and on Illinois that were in the 2018 recommendations of the master plan. This commission came back to them and said, the plan is flawed, we need to you've got to incorporate the sidewalks that were recommended when you now are redesigning, and they didn't do it, right? Now here we are, calendar year 25, 2 years later, they are now putting the sidewalks in where they didn't put them in before when they had all the equipment and machinery and the contractors out there. Finally putting them in, and they still haven't done it right. In front of one person's house, it goes down and then it goes back up. And there's a place, water is gonna collect there, and that water's gonna freeze in the wintertime, and someone's gonna get hurt. And so it's just constantly seeing the missteps. And now we have to go, I didn't even bring it up tonight because the concrete's already poured and cured. But the fact of the matter is, it wasn't Joel Morey going back there and saying, hey, do this again. It was the subcommittee and the commission, because that wasn't even on my portion of the street. I live on Maple, I've got sidewalks in front of my house. It didn't matter to me if, what happened a block away. But we're supposed to be advocating on behalf of our neighbors, on behalf of the residents, for safe passages. And within a block of the metro station, where we're trying to encourage people to walk to the transit, and then they don't give them the opportunity to do that and make it a safe passageway. So this does have impact.
Okay, I'll recognize you.
Steve Della Rosa speaking again as a Villa Park resident. Basically, we're talking what we've already talked about before. And we've already mentioned that we're hamstrung by the 3-minute public comment regulation for agenda items, non-agenda items, at committee of the whole or at a regular board meeting. So if I were on this commission, I would think about how to tell a story of how you've been working within the village to bring about environmental progress and pitch the idea before the public and before the newly elected board and fight for yourselves. And I would break up the story individually. I know Sandy's a great storyteller. I've been in board meetings with Sandy. She can tell a great story. And I'm sure that Alan's got a story or two that he could bring up. I think you all do.
And even the story, Commissioner Smith, that Joe just told about a recommendation that was that was made, then wasn't followed. And what did that cost?
So I would be cautious to get into negative impact.
More positive things, but I'm saying
Yes.
that
I think
would
we
be an
should be,
example.
this is Commissioner Wagner, we should be objective, and we shouldn't
Yes.
be, no
No
recriminations.
blaming.
Those all came Monday night. We need to be objective and say, I think personally, our commission is, by the composition, our ability to do a lot of the same things, some of the misstatements about, spring sweep there's something, I don't know, whoever did it either was never at spring sweep or it was handed off to somebody, a lawyer at the new law firm to write it. I don't know. Yeah. Commissioner
I
Moore.
just want to follow as Commissioner Morey. This is a proposal by the president to the board for the board to take action.
Right.
So it is completely accurate to say that this is not a done deal. This
Right.
is a proposal to the board for them to consider action to either approve it or reject it. And should it be rejected, then the conversation needs to be had of how to make the improvements that the president envisioned, incorporating the talent pool that we have and working with him to achieve the vision that he's looking at. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Steve
in re-
Delrosa.
in response to.
This is Steve
Commis-
Delrosa speaking.
To Commissioner Mori, I think you're giving up an opportunity by not advocating for yourselves before the board is asked to make a vote to decide on approving or disproving the proposed commission. Because it's not just the board that you're talking to the village. You're talking to everybody who listens on YouTube, you're talking to everybody who's in attendance.
Yeah.
And that's the audience. And your history I would think you would want to jump to the rooftops to advocate for.
We need to be
And-
proactive.
Commissioner Smith.
As Commissioner Hill was saying, we probably do need to be proactive in what Steve was just saying. And I know a lot of times with people, like visuals also stick. So just a simple chart, kind of this is what we do for the village. Put it on a chart, and then it'll be spread out over like a timeline type of thing. It's going to be events that we heard it, right? We heard it last Monday when people were like, oh, what about clean sweep? What about pumpkin smash? Who's going to handle this? Who's going to handle that? But really just putting it even in like a slide and just something that makes people feel something like a visual where it's just right there. And then also can have like maybe a cover letter. But I think that visual is also important. Just everything we've done. And how old is this commission? Does anyone know?
Oh, man.
Oh, Lordy, it's,
So, just to let you know, I was on its predecessor, the Environmental Control Board.
okay. Was Ken Jacobson on that
And
one?
that was back in 1990.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Environmental Control Board ran the recycling.
Yes.
There was, where the Public Works garage is now, was a big area where recycling took place.
Okay.
And the Environmental Control Board handled that, and Ken would know all
Ken
about that
Jacobs.
as
So is it
well.
older than 25 years?
Huh?
Is it older than 25
Oh,
years
yeah.
old?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
1990, yeah.
So 30, 40, 50?
Third.
30.
Right.
Oh, you said
30,
1990s.
yeah, I'm gonna say
30 to 40.
35 years.
Okay. And then over that time, in the past 35 years, has there been an upward trajectory of additional programs being added?
We've done a variety of things. I mean, if I search my memory banks, I can tell you about all kinds of events we used to do. I mean, we had a chairperson, Carrie Gursky.
Yeah. I guess I'm just asking
digressing,
about
but
like big picture overall trend. Would you say that it's trending to where it's been? I'm just trying to show
much
from
We're
when it
doing-
was created
we're
to
doing
then.
more. I mean, I would say that we're
it's
doing
growing to where we're
Commissioner
giving back
Wagner,
more.
We're doing more.
Yeah.
I mean, we table now 4 times a year. That's significant.
So having something like that, timeline events, is showing
Pictures.
people that over this time frame, this commission hasn't been a drain. It's increasingly been giving more and having a value to our citizens.
Commissioner Murray.
This is Commissioner Moore. I just want, as a historical reference, when I moved here in '85, we did not have curbside recycling. Some predecessor of this organization, we went to that little village lot behind Jewel, the Boy Scouts unloaded our cars, and we
Yep.
brought them tin cans and newspaper and things like that.
Yep.
And they were only there on like occasional Saturdays.
We actually had a hearing about curbside recycling. This was many, many years ago. I think when Joyce Daly was village president, that's when it got. Commissioner Greco.
Well, first of all, I didn't join this board to be a politician and have to sell myself to the public. I joined this board to do good works for the environment and for the village. This does sound like the best course of action to really understand why the village needs us and publicize that. So is there someone who's willing to make a list of, as we discuss this, of the things that we've accomplished?
This is Commissioner Wagner. I'm willing to do that. I mean, we could put together a list.
Or, I mean, I could grab this,
I
one of
mean, we
these pens,
did,
man.
this is a number of years ago now, we did a PowerPoint in front of the village board.
That's what I was just gonna bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I could,
Can we update that? This is Commissioner Smith.
yeah,
Update that and then maybe just add a timeline. And then that should, and I can help you if you need help with that. Feel free to reach
Okay.
out.
yeah. So I think, since we have other items on our agenda,
Yeah.
I think we're going to maybe limit, I'm gonna ask for one more.
Okay, I just have a question for our trustee, Deepa.
Yes.
So, on action of the board, they did not have, they've had a first reading. It's gone to committee of the whole.
So there will be another first reading, and then there will be, unless that is waived, there will be another second reading before anything happens. That's
So-
where I pushed it on purpose, so that we could have good discussion. I do feel as a trustee, and I will say this, that there are commissions that work and there are commissions that haven't worked. And I do not feel painting every commission with the same brush is the same. There are also commissions that have a tremendous amount of work, and there are commissions that have no work. So I am not averse to restructuring. I want to clarify that. I think the methodology that was used, I already said this, was absolutely not efficient or proper. So that's my take on that. And I do feel there are other commissioners, other trustees that may be corroborating with that opinion. Now, I haven't reached out to many people because of OMA and so on and so forth. I've kept it to what I need to keep it to, which is under 3 people, and that's why my statement was made. But it will only be discussion, as far as I know, at committee of the whole, because we cannot make decisions at committee of the whole. I do not know how crazy our agenda will be, and this is something I'm discussing with our current president, because our agendas have been lasting till 2:30 at night. And honestly, I'm up for it, but there are others that have to get very early to work in the morning, and I do fear also that our staff is being overburdened by this process. So I have made a comment, and I am hoping that we will take this process slower so that we can do it right. But restructuring is not necessarily a bad thing for all our commissions. My goal is to use the volunteer force that was suggested in the most efficient manner possible. We can always use more volunteers. You are all necessary, including the so-called chosen and non-chosen ones. I don't think it was meant to be that way. I honestly think it was supposed to be a discussion point, but it turned out it wasn't done right. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank you for that. I was trying to
Yeah.
envision a timeline when this could actually come to a vote where the board would make a
Yeah.
decision. So I'm thinking now, end of July, maybe.
Yeah, so we need time to actually figure out what commissions work and not. This is what I proposed. I did send out a restructuring proposal, change in some of the numbers. I said every commission should be minimally 7 people. And that has gone out to the whole board on that day. It will be on the committee of the whole packet. I've been working on that day and night to address that. The president has reached out to me. We will connect as well. I want to just waylay all fears at this point and say, continue your business as you should. We will see where this falls, and my hope is that everybody will have a place, and everybody will have a say, and everybody in Villa Park who wants to help will be on a board, will be active, and will be doing what they want. One other thing I want to say, irrespective of your position on any board You are a village person and you are allowed to go to any commission and advocate for anything you want at any time, right? You being on the board of the commission does not make you the advocate. It's your personality and the way you are and the helping nature of yourself. So that I'm just saying that because as a volunteer for years, there's nobody going to stop a volunteer from volunteering, doing what they do, advocating for what they believe in, and caring for what they care about. I know that. Now, what is going to happen is some people are going to get disenfranchised by this process. My hope is to definitely improve the process. I hope that the discussion will turn to that methodology. I do think we need new people. I do see junior commissions. One suggestion that was already made in the packet I sent out was that we have a junior commission for every board that's out there. And that is about succession planning, right? We need succession planning. You need people who know, like this fount of knowledge that the older person has to come down to some other person because life happens.
And reverse.
And
reverse.
Yeah.
That's true,
Because
we're learning
life
from them,
happens.
we are learning so
Well,
much from Ivan,
Well,
yes.
thank you,
Yes.
trustee
Yeah.
Kumar.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I, what you mentioned about Ivan, I hope to God we didn't lose him, because someone's gonna grab that guy, and he's gonna go far, in whatever direction that he chooses, and I felt that that was a miss, that that is our future.
Yes.
So I want to thank
Well,
Commissioner
thank you.
Kumar for coming
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you very much.
Trustee.
And so what
Yeah,
I'm gathering
trustee,
here
yeah.
from the discussion is,
Trustee Kumar,
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry, Trustee Kumar, I beg your pardon.
no problem.
Yeah. From what I'm gathering here, we need to update our PowerPoint presentation, give the village board a timeline, and with all the stuff that we've done in the past.
Yep.
And what we do now,
And what we would like to do.
what we'd like to do, right?
Yes.
Can I, very quick?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Can I suggest at some point we go around the table and make that list of all the things we think should be mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation? Just to kind of, because I know we've talked about a lot of things, and I
Right.
just want to make sure that they're remembered. Because I know you've got a lot on your plate, Bob, and if you're updating that, it'd be easy to forget something. So I'm just going to make that recommendation for this committee. And then Lynn Smith now can,
Well, when my turn comes, if I can say that then.
oh, okay.
Okay, if we wanna go around the room, I mean, I could start off by rattling off
Yeah.
what we do, that,
Do you want me to start typing what everybody's saying?
Sure, yeah, I mean,
That was my point. I think it will be
the tabling events that we do. I mean,
more
we are,
effective if we,
Summer Festival,
The tabling events is educational opportunities and
Educational
interaction with the
opportunities.
public.
right,
And the giveaways.
Yes.
Summer Festival, National Night Out,
okay.
sorry,
My computer's
This is
acting up.
Commissioner Smith. Do we want to take the buckets that we've already created, engagement, education, advocacy, and maybe, since we already have that framework
Yeah.
established, and maybe organize it that way?
we could do it
I
that
mean,
way.
we
sure.
don't have, I'm just saying, since it's already kind of how we've been operating.
So I'm kind of searching my memory banks over the years, things that we've done. I mean, we joined the Greenest Region Compact, that was our recommendation, and I think someone brought that up at the village board meeting.
Yeah,
Oh, you did,
Molly
okay.
did.
Walk and bike friendly communities. We've applied several times. We achieved bronze status.
Right, that's a good one, yeah, and the last one, the last go-round, we submitted it on our own. We didn't depend on staff to do that, we submitted the application on our own.
To be honest, it would have been better with the help of staff,
You're right, it
but
would
yeah.
be better, right,
But
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
neither here nor there.
that's a good point, we should not leave out the things that bike, pedestrian, and transit does.
Did you steer staff to a grant for trees after the tornado, or did you help write that grant?
We recommended it to staff.
Yes. Okay, so,
And they found, we had Director Guerra here, we said, this is our recommendation. And they went ahead and did it after the derecho, and they negotiated with the not-for-profit, and they got 40
Yes.
more, and then we delivered the gator bags.
Yep.
That's another good one, yeah.
Tree planting.
Is this possible to do this right now? Like, I'd like to go back through
Yeah,
your
the
notes.
minutes.
we,
That-
when, and
That's
then,
one of the things that is upsetting to me is we're diligent about those minutes going in. And then to have people say, I don't know what you're doing. You know, or what have you done? It's like, okay, that's the purpose. If it's the purpose is to make sure we're not goofing off, we're not goofing off. And it's all there in records since it began.
and then one year, when Justin Schlensky was the chair, we found out about the county had a program where they were giving away tree seedlings.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of tree seedlings, and then we delivered them to folks.
Yep.
Uh,
And then you've done ComEd giveaways.
We contacted ComEd, and we took part of that program, we got it was more than one pallet load.
2 pallets load.
Yeah,
Oh,
10
and-
pallet loads. We distributed,
Yes. And the.
Light bulbs, weather stripping.
light bulbs, weather stripping, all kinds of energy efficiency things.
Bicycle registration events.
Yeah, there's a
Can we have
whole,
a
yeah, I think there's,
There's
I
so
think
many, I
just
think
put
you
in-
should
Commissioner
just submit
Wagner.
them to you.
This is
Yeah.
not gonna go anywhere.
I think
There's a
Commissioner
suggestion.
Draconis makes a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
Can
we should,
just,
go
yeah,
ahead.
can we use a Google Doc or something
and add it
online?
in
And
Just some.
I mean, we are leaving tomorrow morning, but I can go through, I can take them and read through and just highlighting what are the things that we do, and then at some point, putting them into the categories.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
because
PowerPoint.
sitting here right now, we'll be here till
Yeah.
Yeah,
3
we're
o'clock.
gonna have a late meeting.
Yeah, we don't wanna do that twice in 1 week, do we?
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Smith,
I'm off tomorrow, but
Nobody
I
said the
appreciate the
job
rest
was
of you
easy.
working, yes.
just why I'm thinking about it also with Sandy with the library, what was it, the
No, that was
crocus?
what I was gonna say.
Crocus
You
note.
guys don't get
Yeah,
that.
with the
Started
weather
with our-
station.
With our president.
Yeah, but that's something too, that's
Sure.
special.
To be fair, that was more the library than us.
No.
I mean-
No.
He started.
No, that started
Oh.
with
That started with our
Bob.
chair.
Oh, all right.
That's why we talked about it in our
Needle,
meetings.
needle, punch. Can we do this? Can we
We-
do this? Can we
we-
do this?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got that crocus
Yeah,
site
crocus.
that's on the library.
Yeah.
I mean, the library, you did a lot of legwork, but it was our persistence
Yes.
with Argonne Laboratory to make sure that, you know, and they came and they did a site tour. So,
Right.
it didn't happen it happened because of us.
Yep.
So, and so I think what we should do is like, I'll brainstorm, I'll make a list, I'll send it out to folks, and I'll try not to miss anything, and if you see something I've missed, you know,
And we can
individually
submit.
send me an email.
And we can submit things to you,
Yeah,
suggestions.
yeah, I don't think we're violating anything, if you
Just
submit
something
some
first.
things to me individually.
It's just a submission for creation.
Steve De La Rosa.
Steve De La Rosa here, speaking again. I think what you're onto is good in terms of using your collective wisdom to pull together positive actions that you've delivered to the village on. I think that's a great thing. But you gotta make it all work in the confines of the 3-minute rule.
Well-
Or get on the agenda as a separate presentation. I think that would be a lot harder to do.
Right.
But that is something that I would go for.
Right.
It's like, give us more time to make a good presentation about the historical record. And with that said, I am going to vacate my seat because I think you guys have a lot of shared stuff that you've worked on that you're gonna pull together in some fashion, I hope, because you guys are all a resource. Every volunteer is a resource. It's like, you get somebody who will go to the Jewel and pick up a package of water and bring it to an event. I mean, that helps. Every little thing helps. And you guys have done some wonderful work, and I think you gotta advocate for yourselves. It's like,
So
this is the time to do
This
it.
is Commissioner Rader, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. I did ask, when we were talking about our recommendation for electrical aggregation and community solar, I said, if it pleases the board, I would come back and make a presentation. Maybe we could make an expanded presentation. So, yeah, so I'll brainstorm, send me your ideas, send me the things and I'll make a list, and I'll send it out to everybody. Tell me if I've missed something. Commissioner Leachman,
I just sent out a Google Doc to everyone.
you just what?
I just sent out a Google Doc to everyone, so
Okay.
if they're comfortable with that, they can contribute to it on their own time.
Just, okay,
But people that are not comfortable with that are welcome to email you as well.
okay.
Or if someone wants to email me and I can put it on the doc, I'm
And
fine
your
doing
last Google Doc, I was able to add items to it.
Great.
So,
Thank you, Steve.
But I think Mr. De La Rosa's idea of each of us picking a couple of the items and explaining why, make a 3-minute speech about why it was so important to the village and why our team was doing it so well.
It's not necessarily about us, it's about the fact that this commission is important to the village, right?
But I will say that we bring a lot of relationships with vendors. You really think we should not focus on?
It is not, to me, it's not about us. It's about the fact that the Environmental Concerns Commission is truly a valued commission. And we are advocates, whoever's in these seats are advocates for the environment, and that is important. And we need to educate, we need to get, so that's my 2 cents worth.
Commissioner Smith, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this the last
Yeah,
comment.
just really quick. With all the comments here and everything, I really think it would be some value if we could just have a short presentation, and if you just added that on, even with that slide we talked about, and just mentioning it here. This is what we've done since then. And going forward, these are our plans, and we do plan to tie this into and here's a buzzword, the comprehensive plan.
If we can
Right.
get on the
Yeah.
agenda, yeah, we definitely need to do that.
Should be able to get on there.
Should be about what?
How you get on the agenda?
That's,
You ask.
yeah.
Or can 2 trustees ask that something be put on?
I think so. I think so. There we go. It's a possibility. I would also say, whatever presentation you have, it is something that you need to share with the board. So just that itself will come to all of us,
Right.
and that itself tells us something.
Yes.
Okay, even if you don't speak a word, that presentation tells us all something. So it is worth it in many ways to even get that to us, because I will sit and diligently read every page of the PowerPoint before I get there. I do know other trustees do the same. And so it will get the word out. It's not just me, it is many other trustees do the same. I can say that.
Does someone have the time to work with Bob? Because I don't know that we can put it together with more than 2 people.
It has to
I
be
mean,
2
I'll
people.
I'll find our old PowerPoint and see if I can, update it.
And right now I have,
Okay.
this is Commissioner Smith, I have time in my schedule at the moment to help you as
Okay.
needed.
And I think the goal is to be on the July 14th agenda.
Okay.
So they
Do we
can-
need to make a motion or anything to create this task force, to create this
Thank you.
presentation?
I'll entertain a motion if someone wants to make a motion to that
Well, I
effect.
make a motion that Lynn and Bob work together to create this presentation.
Okay,
Commissioner Smith seconds the
okay,
motion.
all right, any discussion? Seeing that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Discussion.
Only amendment that I would like to make is, I do feel it's important to include in this presentation, goals that we have for the future.
Yeah.
And if we believe that there are ordinance changes that could better help us achieve those goals, then that should be included as part of the presentation as well. I think this should be forward-looking, not backwards-looking.
Yeah, that's good. That's a very good point.
Well said.
This is Commissioner Smith, and
Yeah.
whatever Bob and I end up putting out, it will be sent to the entire commission for review and further comment too.
Okay.
But what Commissioner Leachman was just saying about having a slide of looking forward or,
I
you know,
think
next
that's
steps.
a very
Yeah,
good point.
that's gonna
Not
be
just-
critical.
Not going back 10 years, 20 years and saying, this is what we did, but saying, this is what we want to do, and we have momentum going, that if you're going to,
This is what
If
we
you
want
cut
to
our-
achieve.
This is where we started, this is where we are, this is where we're going.
yeah, we have momentum, and we have interests, from the community, like Molly, like Ivan, so let us continue with that momentum, and we'll, we can do better, we can do more things in the future, so. All good points.
And yeah, I love Ellen's point. Try to think about ordinances that would be detrimental or any changes that might need to happen to make those goals a reality.
So there was a motion and a second. Do we need a vote?
Yeah.
And it is amended by him to make sure to look, to make it forward focusing.
Yes.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll make it happen. Okay, I'm gonna move on to our next item, which is the lead service line policy. And I wanna thank Commissioner Leishman for creating the QR code. It helped us, that it was available at the Summer Festival. And I know that Director Guerra talked to you Monday night, did he? Was he talking to you about that?
No, he was apologizing for not getting back to us earlier about some email or something. I think he was really apologizing to you, but I was apparently the messenger for that apology.
So, yeah,
But-
I sent an email to Riley Pillar and to Director Guerra. And I said, and I saw, I don't want to be negative, but I saw that they had published the page on the website. And I didn't know that it was published. It had the updated policy about lead service lines, something we recommended, a more robust website, a webpage. And I didn't know about it, and I asked Riley, when was this published? And she said it was published May 25th or something like that. So I had asked Director Guerra, I said, can you give us any other resources that we can use at Summer Festival? And he didn't answer. I'm not trying, this is not recrimination, I'm just telling you a fact. Riley answered, here's the page, here's the link to the page, and I said, okay. So there is now a web page that tells the residents about the lead service line policy. Commissioner Leishman created a QR code, so going forward, I'm gonna follow up with Director Guerra, because there's a trifold that you can create that could be put with the village logo on there that we could hand out to people. There's more resources out there that they could help us with, that staff could help us with, so that we can educate the public. Commissioner.
So was our village board liaison not able to join us today?
We don't have a village board liaison.
No, the.
Our staff
board.
liaison.
Our staff
Oh,
liaison.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Our staff liaison, was he not able to join?
I did not, so Vasily Voskresensky is our de facto, and I didn't hear from him. I copy him, I let him know that we had a meeting. So maybe he's on vacation, I don't know. We're talking about the vacation, we're about to go into a holiday.
I understand that. That's why communication is important if you know that you can attend. But one thing I just wanted to say with the lead service lines, and when I will say it, it is lagging. we are also due for an RFP, which is request for proposals going out to consultants so that we can move forward to the next step. Because we are behind compared to our other neighboring communities.
Yeah.
And I would like an answer on kind of what is the timeline for that? Because I feel like we've been getting the same answers since like April.
Okay, Commissioner Leishman.
I motion that we grant Commissioner Smith the authority to draft an email to staff asking what is the status of the request for proposals.
Okay.
For the
I'd
tourists.
like to
The motion
second that
been made,
motion.
is there a second?
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm gonna ask, second by Commissioner Morey.
One quick question about discussion, would this be better as a Freedom of Information Act request, perhaps? That seems a little aggressive,
Yeah.
but
It's
No,
more
from what I hear, there's been a huge
Yeah.
number.
This is Commissioner Smith. No, it wouldn't because it hasn't been created yet. What is the status of creating the request for proposals
okay.
for engineering services? That is
Okay.
something that needs to be submitted for public bid. That was supposed to initially go out several months ago, and each month we're told it's coming.
Okay.
Next month,
So,
next month.
all right, yeah, I understand, and I do
So it's just gonna be
realize
just a
that,
simple email to
a
inquire.
formal request like that can also be perceived as less friendly. See, I told you I'm not a politician.
FOIA.
The FOIA,
Yeah,
a FOIA
Don't
can be,
FOIA. Please
Yeah.
don't FOIA
But
staff.
there's nothing to,
Okay.
this is Commissioner Smith, there's nothing,
Okay.
there's nothing to FOIA.
that's why I asked,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't
Because the
suggest.
document hasn't been created.
It's why I asked, it's why I
So
didn't
Okay, so
suggest.
there's a motion and a second.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then you report back to us as to what they've told you.
Yes,
Okay, wonderful.
So the
Thank you.
timeline for, let me just clarify.
the
what-
timeline for issuing, this is Commissioner Smith. So what I will be asking Director Guerra is, what is the timeline for issuing the request for proposals?
The
for the-
request for what?
Proposal.
For proposal, sometimes they're a request for bid, but to making the request for proposals for lead service line services to engineering firms, qualified engineering firms. It would have to be a public bid.
And you could probably just CC the rest of us on that email if you wanted to.
Yeah, I am.
Or if you wanted to
It
keep it a
doesn't
smaller audience. Either way.
I think that it would probably be more impactful and get a quicker response if we're all copied, and probably more efficient, because we will all receive the same message. Is there anyone else I should copy?
I would copy
Village
Manager
president?
Rivas.
Okay, manager.
And I would
Reeves.
copy President Patrick.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that's important
absolutely.
to him.
Yeah, absolutely, Rivas and Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that tends to get more attention.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's going as an ECC request or?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you should say.
Yeah, it's
that-
on behalf, yes, from
yeah,
our
that we-
committee.
It was,
Yes.
it was the motion to.
The motion to,
Yeah, the
yeah.
motion was asked that you are our official asker.
Reach your outer.
Reach your outer. Okay, I'm gonna move on to our next item, our 2025 goal setting. And I'm gonna tell you that I don't have much to say for, Ivan and I are a group. We were talking with Riley about a potential survey, but Riley is now on maternity leave. And I don't know, there's a intern that's in her place.
Really?
She's good. She's a nice girl. And
Is she?
Yeah,
Okay.
she will be helpful.
Yes.
She
Yeah, and I
is,
don't know-
She was selected by Riley. She is a Willowbrook student. Also, like Riley, she knows the town, and she is willing to help.
Gotcha.
So
And My oldest daughter went on maternity leave, official maternity leave, and I think she was gone 6 months, so I don't know how long Riley will be gone. I'm gonna say she's gonna be gone probably 6 months. Yeah, maybe, give or take. So from our group, I don't have much to report. The Chicago Regional Tree Initiative, very promising, from the director, but no follow-up at all. She said, oh, we have all these resources to help you. Oh, yeah, we'll have someone reach out to you. So it was kind of the same old story, nothing yet, nothing from them. I definitely need to follow up with them. If anyone else wants to report, give us an update, Commissioner Smith.
Yes, so I have it's Commissioner Smith, I'm providing an update for education, so myself, Commissioner Greco, and our champion community contributor.
Activist, volunteer.
Yeah.
We should say
Molly.
beloved.
Beloved, yeah. Molly, so we were kind of all working together on this. I reached out to my contacts at Open Lands and was provided the name of a person that would be willing to come out and speak on sustainable gardening. She was just waiting for us to provide her with a date
Okay.
so she can put it on her calendar. But given kind of what's happening, we haven't determined a date quite yet. But I understand we are to just keep planning as normal.
Were you gonna have this at the rec center?
We were considering, the rec center was like high on the list as a choice.
You're welcome to
Or-
come and have
or-
it at the library.
Or the library, yeah.
Oh, you're definitely on the list,
And-
yes.
Well, I'm just saying that
But-
if things fall through, we're willing to continue on.
Yes, so we were just trying to determine dates and then see who had the availability. Then also I spoke with, and pardon me, I forget his last name, but Pete, he's known as the beekeeper.
Pete Soltis.
Pete Soltis, yeah. Because he knows a lot about pollinators, and he also agreed to speak. And I saw him the other day at Villa Park.
Commissioner Leachman.
Question for Commissioner Smith. Am I remembering correctly that the fee for the speaker from Open Lands was $50?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
It's either 50 or 100.
I would like to make a motion to grant Commissioners Greco and Smith the authority to schedule a speaker from Open Lands and to authorize on a date of their choosing, and authorize an expenditure of $100, not to exceed $100 for the whatever is necessary for that.
Expenses related to
Expenses
the
related
yes.
to the speaker.
I'll second that motion.
Second the motion, okay.
Thank you.
This is Commissioner Wagner. Do we know, where's the speaker coming from? They're not,
So she's coming from like the northern,
Where?
she's coming from the northern suburbs.
Okay.
But she knows about all different regions, including the western suburbs. And she stated that she wanted to go to room and board also.
she wanted to what?
She also has other interest in the area.
Okay.
So she's looking forward to making
Yeah,
a
so
trip
she's
here.
looking forward, and she's knowledgeable about the area. So I think her expertise combined with Pete's
Okay,
would be
Yeah.
something worthwhile.
okay. All right, is there any other discussion?
Uh,
Commissioner Leachman.
Sorry, you said she's from the north suburbs?
Urban.
That's where she would be coming from.
That's-
I'm just thinking about compensating her for gas.
Yeah.
So like,
Reimbursement.
do we think the $50 will cover that? I don't know
So,
exactly
so
where
the
she is.
$50 is just related to open land. So if we wanted to give her something additional, this is something I know that is her passion and she enjoys going all over. But if we wanted to do that as a thank you gesture,
Yes.
that's something that we could do.
Sorry, I wasn't speaking clearly.
Yeah.
I know the $50 goes to Open
Okay.
Lands. I was thinking of the additional $50 that I already authorized for the not to exceed $100.
Is it her mileage
Well-
getting here?
Yeah, that's not something she requested. If we wanted to do that just on our own, just as a show of appreciation or or give her a gas card, I guess.
Well, Mr. Leishman is proposing that come out of the $100 for the event.
I just wanted to make sure she was coming from the north suburbs and not like
Timbuktu.
Minnesota or something. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
then we need to approve more money.
I don't
Right, yeah.
necessarily think that's necessary, but if you wanted
I
to.
think it's entirely appropriate.
Okay, so we can
It's the
do
least
that.
we can do.
Yes, okay.
So I think this is Commissioner
Are you
Wagner. I
making a
think
motion?
Commissioner, no, you made a motion, who seconded?
I second it,
Okay, Commissioner.
not to exceed $100.
I think it's appropriate to, speakers' fees when they're reasonable are,
This
and I
is
think that's a
extremely
reasonable
reasonable.
amount. We did, remember we had the engine inside, we had to
Yes.
get the rights for that to show that film.
So
Uh,
this is Commissioner Smith. What are we proposing giving her for gas compensation? Another 50? I mean, 25?
$50 honorarium in addition to her.
In addition to her speaking fee?
Yes.
Okay.
That would work.
The other thing, this is Commissioner Wagner, let me know, and because I'll need some sort of documentation, because I have to prepare the disbursement reimbursement form that goes to the village manager and the finance director. So it comes out of our budget.
Okay, thank you. So I think what's crucial for Molly and, I'm sorry, Mary Ann.
Yeah,
and
it's been
Commissioner.
a long week.
Yes, Commissioner Greco and Citizen Molly to determine is actually a
I feel
first.
like we're in a dystopian novel now. Listen, Molly.
Citizen Molly is a date, a couple of dates, and then to see if the library and the rec center have those dates available in a room to accommodate us, and probably something with some type of, where they might have slides
Yes.
and screens. So those are the two things maybe we can get together and decide this week.
Can I ask a question? I'm unclear on that.
Sure.
I will recognize you, of course.
Citizen
Precedent
Molly.
allows it. Precedent allows it.
So I
Recognize
think
the
the
citizen
key, if having it at the library, the key is planning it early enough to get it in their
Has to be.
newsletter.
Yes. This is Commissioner Smith. So Citizen Molly, the date, September is what we're looking for, since we missed like the April window, so September,
Oh.
because that's when people will maybe start considering planting. Again, any later than
That
September.
we still are working on the resource, so if you can tie it up quickly, I can check dates. So we're not finished with the draft of the resource yet.
So what date do you, like,
I have
what's
to
your,
go back and look.
okay, within a week you need it? Within
Yeah.
3 days? Okay.
A week would be good.
Okay.
But we're also, just so you know, our seed library this year is gonna have fall seeds for planting. So the whole idea of sustainable gardening.
Maybe you can tie that in.
Yeah. New initiative.
Not to spend too much time on details, but another advantage to fall is reminding people not to clear everything because the bugs like to overwinter there.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of things that are important in the fall as well.
Yep.
So just throwing that out there. Okay.
And
Okay.
this new group, the Villa Park Horticultural Club, they would be a wonderful, they would be a great
Oh.
partner, because I was at their inaugural meeting last night, and I
That's a
think they
great
would love to be
idea.
part of it.
Awesome. Yes, so are they reachable on, do they have a website, or do you have a?
Facebook.
Oh.
Facebook, yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to
Horticultural
figure out
Club.
and get on Facebook and.
Definitely invite them if not, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you
Because
have
I think
trouble reaching
timing
out to
is
them,
tight.
let me know.
They had about
I know the guy right now.
16 people
Okay.
there last night. It
Oh,
was at,
that's good.
it was at Kyle Schnutler's, his,
Okay.
This is Commissioner Smith. So if
I'll throw some dates at you.
Commissioner Lynchman or Commissioner Wagner can provide me with the contact name and email,
I think it's a great
absolutely,
idea that we at least
Yeah.
invite them.
absolutely.
and then I can,
Right.
can
Because with
reach
this
out.
timing crunch, I don't know that you can get them involved in it, but you could plan it and invite them to it.
Right,
Vince-
and then and have them collaborating with us on future events.
Yeah,
July,
Vince Davis,
June.
Vince
They have like
Davis
3
and
whole
Mark
months.
Paulson are
No, we only have a week.
kind of the,
Oh, okay.
or I'll send you their email.
Okay.
To pick the date, yeah.
I just have a little question, library question. If a group like the whole horticultural group came and said they wanted to do a program at your library, you
We-
would do that?
Yes, we used to do,
Okay.
the Villa Park Garden Club used to come. And even during COVID, we did programs on Zoom and all
Oh,
that.
excellent.
So they would come and do programs.
Oh, nice.
At the library. And then sometimes they would sponsor Bill Carges to come out. We're still working with Bill Carges. And then that garden club actually donated, is it $12,000 or $13,000 to the library from their coffers.
Wow.
And then we put that in
How
our
much do they, how much do they?
$12,000 to $13,000 from that.
Jeez, that's wild.
So we put that in our foundation, and then twice a year, we do a Villa Park Garden Club Legacy Program. So, using the
That's
foundation dollars.
Last night I
Wow.
said there was money, that there was a significant amount of money in the garden club's bank account.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Commissioners.
this-
So, I mean, we would be happy to book them and use some of those dollars to get programs to educate people, so.
Yeah.
Be
This
nice.
is Commissioner Smith, it's just a question I have. So, thanks for bringing up the garden club or the Villa Park Horticultural Club. And then we have Pete, you know, the bee guy, Pete Solstice. Do you guys still think I need to have the open lands person who's coming from the north suburbs?
Well,
participate?
I mean, she's your
She's fine either
she's
way.
your speaker, right? I don't know that you'll find somebody from the horticultural club that has the background that she
Oh,
has.
for
Yeah,
speaking.
we-
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
but
still
I
keep
think-
her. Then
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely,
just
yeah.
have like 3 people.
I'm just saying they
Okay.
would, they
We were
would
just
be.
saying to
yeah.
get
they'd
them
help you promote-
invited
they would
and
help
then
you
maybe for
promote it.
future collaborations. Oh, and help promote it. Yeah.
Oh, to help promote
Yes.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And to maybe be there just on hand
Yeah.
to
Oh, my
mingle.
Yeah.
goodness.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah. No, Open Lands Woman is fabulous. So.
so, I think we didn't call the question, is that what
I'm
you're about to?
calling the question.
You're calling the question, okay. Okay.
Can I just add one thing? How cool would it be to do a sustainability fair?
So cool.
So, just putting it out there.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
call the question.
Get that on the
We're
agenda next time.
we're digressing. Okay, so the questions have been called by Commissioner Leishman. And once again, let's restate the motion.
I moved to grant Commissioners Smith and Greco the authority to schedule an event with open lands on a date of their choosing at a location of their choosing, and to expend an amount not to exceed $100 for the acquiring of the speaker and an honorarium for their travel to the Villa Park.
Okay. Okay. You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And once again, once you have a bill or something, invoice, let me know and I'll make sure to get that processed.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else want to report? Anything else to report?
Just very quick,
Sorry.
it's also part of the education lump goal. I would like to get Peace to do a demonstration of their bicycle rack that's on the front of the buses to get people more comfortable with that. And the bicycle valet at Brewfest seems like an ideal place to do it. In mid-March, I think you helped me connect with the people in the Park District. We did send some emails out. They said they would get back to us, and they have not. So I have it on my radar to nudge them to see if, because I have 2 concerns. One, can the Park District accommodate that? Are we getting the bike valet again this year? And can they accommodate this PACE presentation? But also, I know it's a public-private partnership where there's a company that runs the Brewfest. So I wanted to make sure there was nothing in the contract that disallowed me to do, to have PACE come out and do that. So that's what I'm waiting to hear from Parks and Rec. As soon as I get the okay from them, I'll contact PACE and try to arrange it.
So Sue Earl, or Gina
I can recap
Reckinelli.
for you later if you need me to.
Gina Reckinelli
Uh-huh.
would be the one,
Yeah,
I
Gina
think
would.
that would,
Gina, okay. I think she's on the email chain. I'll check it out again.
What exactly are you?
Okay, so what I
Like presentation, like,
So, we have the bike valet at Brewfest, and it's a very big space, and Pace has like a sample of the rack on the front of the buses. It doesn't take up much, like, it takes up about half the space of this table. And people can practice putting a bike on and off as if they would if it were on the front of the bus. And that goes a long way towards making people more comfortable taking their bikes on the bus.
yes. and Commissioner Leishman.
We also intend to use it as a sobriety test to see whether or not people are willing to ride their bicycles home.
Everyone must
You
do
failed.
it
Yeah.
before
And,
they
and the video production commission can come and
Yeah.
it'll be a comedy special.
Cop will be standing right there.
Yeah.
Fertilizer.
Okay, yeah, let me know if you need any further help, because
Okay, yeah,
I-
thank you.
I was at a bike event in Arlington Heights, and Pace was tabling there. They didn't just have the rack, they had a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll certainly go for that, yeah.
Yeah, so Chris Rose, I think that Chris Rose at Pace is the person to talk to.
Right,
Okay.
I have her number.
Yeah.
I think I have it, but I may ask again, okay.
Okay, does anyone else want to report? Commissioner Leishman?
Yeah, on the advocacy side, of course, we gave our recommendation to the board regarding the electrical aggregation program, and I will happily take credit for that in its entirety.
Did you email it to them? I know you didn't read it at the meeting, but did you email it
I
to
have
everyone?
not yet.
Okay.
I will do that, absolutely.
I'm sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I appreciate all the board's actions on that because I think it's one of the more important things that we do. And then, as part of the BPT agenda tonight, as I already mentioned, we're starting the process of studying traffic crossings around town, which is one of our big advocacy goals for the year. So,
Okay, wonderful. Okay, if nothing else, I'm gonna move on to our next agenda item. And Commissioner Leishman alluded to it, recommendation on community solar and electrical aggregation. And I think in the email that I sent, there was some misinformation because Adam Hoover and the person who's promoting this green energy justice community solar, both of them told me you can be part of community solar and still be part of electrical aggregation. And the community solar program is actually for a specific solar panel project, a big project, and they're taking a certain number of subscriptions, like 1,000 up to 1,000. And once they've reached their limit, they're gonna. So I would encourage you all to look into it. If you qualify by income, you can become part of it for nothing, but otherwise it's like $25. So it's just, it's. And she also told me she might be a speaker for us in the future because she was very interested. She lives here in DuPage, promoting it for DuPage County. They're gonna have a board, and if you become a member, you potentially could be a board on the board that makes decisions about this, this community solar project.
What was the full name of that again?
It's the, I think I have a copy with me. It's the thing that we were distributing at
Alan may have
Solar
it.
Festival. You have it?
Alan might. No?
So, but is it possible to be on both, to be signed up for the,
He said yes.
MC squared? Okay, it is definitely, that is, okay.
He does
But
have it.
the difference is the community solar is limited, so not everyone would be able to do it necessarily. Okay, I understand now.
So it's like a prairie food.
So I will send out the
And it's
email
expensive,
with, the letter, and I'll kind of follow up and say, hey, would you like us to make a presentation, at July 14th? And we could also do an expanded presentation about what we do, so. And I did mention that Adam Hoover was willing to come out and talk, so. Okay, that's all I have on community solar and electrical aggregation. Our next item that I have here is discussion and action, possible participation in National Night Out, which is Tuesday, August 5th. And I assume that it's going to be at the same place it's been the last couple of years, at the, right by
Corte-
the Historical Museum.
No, they moved it to Cortese last year, remember?
Oh, that's right, they moved it to Cortese, yeah.
And I like that space better,
Yeah, you're
It
right.
was nice, yeah,
Yeah,
it worked
because
out
we
really
were
well
like-
there.
yes.
Yeah, and I did email Police Chief Kubish to say who's handling this, we'd like to be part of it. So, there's a lot of things we could do.
Well, the QR code for the lead service line
Right,
is a
exactly, we
huge
could talk about lead
educational
service
moment.
lines. We could promote, depending on when your program is gonna be, we could promote the program.
Yeah.
By August 5th, we'll have a date, so.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll have a date next week.
Yeah, so, let me look at my calendar. It's not the best night for me. Let's make sure we have enough volunteers available that day before we
Yeah,
even.
I will be there,
you,
yeah, because we did it last year.
yeah, I'm available.
I should be available.
Huh?
I should be available.
Okay,
I would love to do that, but I'm out of town.
okay.
I guess I'll be available.
Well, if you give us a Go Green
Yes.
sheet, we'll get more people for you.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
National Night on August 5th.
So I'll entertain a motion then for the commission to participate in National Night Out on Tuesday, August 5th. Commissioner Leachman,
I so move.
okay.
I'll second that.
Is there, okay, who seconded?
I did?
Commissioner Hilton, okay. Is there any discussion?
I just checked my calendar, I will not be available.
Okay. If we have two or three people, I think we're good. I think we'll be good. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will participate in National Night Out. And we're going into item 6, public comments on non-agenda items. Are there any comments on non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none. Commissioner comments. I'm going to start on my left with Commissioner Jacobs.
Well, I do want to thank you all for your comments on Monday night, and I think they were well said, well presented, polite, respectful, direct, and I am sending to the board my thoughts about Ivan and the confusion, basically. Not a criticism necessarily, but the confusion shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and I thought it was really great that he led off the
I do
comments.
too. Yeah.
I think Joe kind of forced his hand. Something you all should know, I don't know if you know. Do you remember Ivan? There was a lot going on that night, but he was,
Ivan reached out to me
okay.
and he wants to do a fellowship. He does plan to do things, and I said I would love for him to do a fellowship.
But my point is that, so he was the first person to speak. That was the first ever board meeting he'd been to. He had never been to a board meeting.
Wow, good for him.
And he just
He blew it up.
came in there with poise
Yes.
and grace and well prepared and, God, I wish I could be him. Anyway,
Is that it?
I apologize. I walked
Okay,
on.
Commissioner Leachman.
Only comments I had is, regardless of what happens in these next few board meetings, it's been a pleasure to work with you all and learn from you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith.
Got you had a good time.
Hi, sorry. Thank you. So I wanted to echo what Commissioner Draconis was saying about thanking you all for speaking so eloquently and the heartfelt comments at the village board meeting on Monday. And our rock star Ivan isn't here, but definitely it would be a tragedy to lose such a voice. And in my opinion, all of our voices. I mean, this is, I was telling Commissioner Leachman, on Saturday, like how much I really enjoyed being on this committee. Like I look forward to coming to our commission meetings and it's helped me really feel integrated into the community by being a part of this committee. And we all are so different. Like we each have like different talents, and together it makes for like a really amazing committee. And it like you, I get sad thinking about not seeing you guys every week or having our little side, when we meet one-on-one to discuss a project we're working on. Yeah, so that's all I want to say. It's, thank you, Mark Helm, for suggesting that Bob reach out to me when there was an opening. No, because you guys are amazing. So we're going to fight for our committee. We're going to fight. Fight.
But-
Ooh. And we're going to win.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Trustee Kumar for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you for
It really
joining.
means a lot that you came and
Yes.
actually saw what we do.
Yes.
And you devote so much time, I see you doing a lot of different things throughout the community. So it really means a lot that you took time away from your other, things that you were involved with to come and join us to see what we are up to here. And thanks again to everyone who came out and joined us on Saturday. It was not in the best of conditions, but everybody there, I know not everyone could make it, but those who were there had the same poise and enthusiasm and grace, knowing full well that after being possibly kicked aside the night before, finding out the night before that we may not even have a job in this endeavor, they showed up anyway. And thanks to everyone who came to the meetings, participated on Monday. It was a barn burner, we're not done. I know we're not done. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Hill?
Well, I plan on keeping in touch with you guys, so
Yes.
I'm not going anywhere. So I have a new back deck. We can always have some wine and appetizers, so there you go. We have options, okay? Just saying. But yeah, thank you to all you guys who are out of Summerfest. I can't do heat anymore because of my conditions, so I appreciate that. But I don't mind National Night Out because it seems to be cooler in August, so thank you all.
All right, well, I have to echo the thank yous because it has truly been a phenomenal group that works well together and does bring a lot of opinions and a lot of experiences and a lot of knowledge and talent. I do especially thank you. I know how busy you are. I also feel like you brought a little bit of clarity, and I do appreciate how hard you're working for the village and recognizing what we can bring to the village. So thank you very much for that. I also want to say whatever happens, like Sandy said, we have other options. Yes, I am looking forward to that line on the deck.
There you go.
But whether we're officially part of the village or not, we can join. We can work with Molly and Go Green and cover many of our issues. The Horticultural Club would welcome members. We can form our own organization if we feel like there are
I don't think you need another one. You got Go Green.
We can join.
Well, if there's issues that are, Go
I'm
Green
good.
covers
I'm
almost
just
everything, yes.
kidding.
No, but Go Green does seem to cover everything, and you said there's flexibility there, so.
Total.
But anyway, my point is that there are options, and we can still influence the direction of the village, whether it's sanctioned by them or not. So, but I do hope that the board sees the wisdom of a more smooth transition and reorganization.
Thank you. I'll just kind of, thanks to Commissioner Leishman and Commissioner Hill and your prompting about the village matters. So Riley did, as before she went on maternity leave, she updated the information for pumpkin smash and the cooking oil collection. And so the pumpkin smash is not the Saturday after Halloween, it's the following one.
Okay.
So, I'll reach out to Katie Neary and say, here's loads of advance notice, we need a dumpster for
Yeah.
pumpkin squash.
Okay.
And I did speak with Ray Hoving at Salt Creek Sanitary District, and they're excited that we're gonna do our cooking oil collection with them again, you know, the Saturday after
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. And I remember when Commissioner Leishman were there on a very cold Saturday.
Couldn't get the oil out of the bottles because it was.
People left their cooking oil, they had these big 5-gallon jugs, and so we
Yes,
brought them
salads.
inside so that we could, and then we couldn't get the opening for to pour, they had that big container for the cooking oil, we couldn't get it open, so there was a couple folks from the district there who got it open for us, so.
There you go.
Wow.
Cool.
Teamwork.
We had to put the jugs of oil on the radiator inside the office building. It probably smelled like turkey for weeks. There.
Okay, I'm gonna say that story has to come. Actually, yes,
That's
and make
dedication,
it funny.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right.
Right.
because people remember stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
And it shows a dedication.
yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Smith.
Oh, yeah, I second, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, you did it quickly, but you did it.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Squishes candy.
I'm good.